Thanks, James. Excellent talk, Third, and thank you for the invite. So, contrary to Third's talk naman, ito is a non-technical talk. Disclosures are, I do most of my photographs with an iPhone 11 and recently with a DJI Mavic Mini 2 drone. So, my photographs are taken in the context of where we usually go. And usually, this is on the bike rides or hikes that we go through. And parang pag may nakikita ka lang kasi magandang lugar, gusto mo kunan, gusto mo i-share. So more of yan yung context. But these are some of the things that I look for when I take pictures. No? Number one is lines. No? You want the lines in the picture always lead you to see some things. And in this case, for instance, this was taken in Ampucao, Itogon Benguet during the grass flower season. You can see that the grass flowers parallel the lines of the mountain. No? So it enhances the photograph. This was another photograph taken in the Ambuklao River in Bocod early morning. And you can see the clouds lifting up and they actually form a line and draw your eye towards the area near the top of the mountain. This one I took when I was visiting my son in the Netherlands, and you can see the grass flowers or the reeds also again forming a line, a diagonal, coming up and taking your eye towards the windmills. So just some pictures where I look at lines and try to look at them. The second element I try to look for when I take pictures is lighting. No? And this was in Camp John Hay during one of our morning hikes. And the Japanese have a term for this, kumorebi, where you actually see the filtering light through the trees. No? So you see the light coming down and the shadows and making streaks that go around. This was taken in Northern Blossoms Farm in Atok, Benguet. And what it is the light coming through the translucent flower. No? So maganda yung effect. Parang normally you just look at the flower from the front, but this way you can see also the light and shadows playing with the flower itself. Talking about shadows din naman, this was on a trip back from Nueva Vizcaya, and then we crossed over back into Benguet, and it was a rainy day, and the clouds cleared just enough to show the mountains in the distance. So you could see the mist and the mountains forming layers, no? As palayo ng palayo. And in the far right, you can see a glimpse of the sun, no? In the afternoon. This was about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I just had to stop and take a picture of this area. Shadows are also very good for portraying silhouettes. So this was a picture taken a long time ago. My youngest is now 14 years old. This was in Subic Bay, Zambales, during one of our trips. And I just took a picture of my kids staring out the window into the bay. Reflections are very good tools to use. They reflect light, they reflect detail, they add symmetry to your picture. So one of the all-time favorite places in Baguio is Burnham Park. And if you go early in the morning, the lake is calm and you can get a good reflection. In this case, ang ganda ng sunrise over a mist, and you can get the reflection of that too. And sometimes you can actually turn the reflection on its end. Now, this was on a bicycle trip to Lingayen, and nakabaliktad. You can see the photograph is reversed. I'm on the bottom side, and we reverse the picture to show the reflection on the puddle, on a puddle of water. So plain lang yan, putik lang yan na may tubig, but we use the opportunity to take the shot. Sometimes you have to be patient with shots. There was this time in Kadaklan, Benguet, we stopped during a ride, and in the morning, you can see the mist settling between the mountains, and waiting a few minutes, you can see the mist begin to rise. No? So it comes up and up and up and then becomes clouds. So having the patience to stay in one spot and see the shot evolve can give you different pictures. Of course, the golden hour is a very good time to take picture. You can have it at dawn before the sunrise and also in the afternoon, just before sunset. And this was taken in Kias, Itogon, just last week, during a bike ride. It's now sunflower season in Baguio. The weather is temperatures down to about 11, 12 degrees in the mornings. And you can feel the cold in the picture because you can see the clouds in the bottom and then you can see the sun just starting to light up. So this is a really good time to take shots. And since we bike early in the morning, we leave 5:30 in the morning, we usually get to these spots by around sunrise. This was taken in Atok, in the Northern Blossoms Flower Farm in Atok, Benguet. Again, same. We actually intentionally drove away from Baguio at 3 in the morning to be able to get to the flower farm by sunrise. And nagmamadali kami to get to the flowers to catch pictures like this, now, where you can see enough light to see the flowers in the foreground and starting to see the sun also lift up over the mountains in the background. Again, golden hour can be in the afternoons. No? So this was taken on a trip to Coron with my kids. And as the sun was setting, they were SUPing over the lake. And, it was a good picture to take with them in the photo as well. And sometimes I try not just to take pictures of nature itself, but you can actually get dirty. You look at the other part. So this part is Camp 6 in Cannon Road. You're looking at the backside of the road where you can see the houses on the countryside. And it actually paints a very stark but nice picture of the village, diba, that you don't normally see. And like this also in Camp 4 in Cannon Road. Again, these pictures are best taken when you're on a bike, because when you're in a car coming up, you don't stop it, or you'll see it for fleetingly and then tapos na. This way you get the chance to stop, get off your bike, walk around, and take a picture of the places. When you take pictures also, sometimes you want to tell a story to see what's happening. So again, on the trip to Coron, we saw these kids playing in the outrigger of a bangka, and they were playing, jumping off, taking turns. So it was a great picture to take. The timing of the picture was good, and they looked like they were really having fun. This one was on a bike trip, again, to Shilan, Benguet. And it wasn't just the beautiful sunrise, which you can see, but the bird just happened to float into the field of vision, diba? I mean, Pinky takes really good pictures of birds also in the air. So you can see that, diba? Minsan it tells a story, it adds to the photograph. And a lot of it is location, no? Location, sabi nila. On my 50th birthday, I took a trip with some friends to Mount Pulag in Benguet, the second highest peak in the Philippines. And I was able to bring at the time he was 11 years old, my youngest son went with me to Mount Pulag, and we actually hiked early in the morning in the dark to be able to come up and take these pictures. No? So once in a lifetime to, nag-cooperate yung weather ng time na yon. Swinerte kami dun sa pictures. This was actually our second trip to Pulag. The first time we were fogged out. Mahirap yung but this one was worth the trip. Sometimes you can also have a favorite spot. You go to it again and again. Diba? This is a spot in Baguio near Outlook Drive, looking over Itogon. And it's part of our weekly bike route. So when we bike in the middle of the week, it's a short ride lang. And there's this area which has a really nice lookout point. And you'll notice, you come back on different days and take the same picture, and it's still different, still beautiful in different ways. So hindi kami nagsasawa to take the pictures in the same place. Sometimes it looks the same, sometimes it looks different, but always, it's always a nice picture to take. And a lot of times, pictures affect you because they take you home, diba? So these are pictures that we like to take. When I used to go down to Manila to visit my children when they were in school in Diliman or in Ateneo, I would ride on Sundays to Diliman and stop and take pictures. So ito yung you can see the Carillon in Diliman on the left, and on the right, yung oblation na tinataihan ng ibon. So just the pictures like this can evoke a lot of memories for friends. Another thing I got into recently was drone photography. And that was just this year. Like third, I'm a novice at it. Wala pa akong kamuang-muang, and I spent a lot of time on YouTube just watching videos on how to do it. And what are the things that appealed to me about drone photography? Number one is perspective. This is the Santa Fe Traverse in Itogon, Benguet. You can see the line in the mountain. That's the ride that we do on weekends. It's a 50-kilometer out and back route, about 1,000 meters elevation, and you go all the way down to the bottom left and then come back up to the right. And I've always wanted to see what it looks like from a distance. So I took the drone up, moved it about 1 kilometer out, and then you're looking back at where you are. And it gives you a perspective of what the place you're in at. And it's a very nice picture of that mountain range. And there's another spot in La Trinidad, Mount Yangbu, where we actually hike for about 45 minutes to get to the peak. And normally from the peak, happy ka na sa sunrise. But this time we took the drone up and then we went about 500 meters in the air, and now you're over the clouds. Diba? It changes the perspective because you're not looking at the sunset, the sunrise under the clouds. You're now seeing the effect of the mountain, the clouds, and then you're up over the air. It's almost like taking a picture from a plane, but you can stop and say, teka muna, picture muna tayo, which is hard to do when you're riding a plane. But maganda yung perspective niya. This is the Bridal Veils Falls in Camp 1 Cannon Road. So when you come up Cannon, you'll see it on the left side. It's a big falls and you're usually on the bottom side. So with a drone, you're actually able to see it from a different perspective that you weren't able to before. This is on the top of the waterfalls. So maganda rin siya. You realize, uy, may swimming pool pala sa baba. No? Maganda yung perspective ng picture. And this is in a hanging bridge in Sitio Banao in Ambuclao. So this was taken on one of our visits to our clubfoot patients. So we have a clubfoot patient who lives across the bridge on the right side. And during the pandemic, we used to go and do our brace exchanges by bicycle. So we'd bring the braces to them and do the exchange where they were. Kasi hindi sila makabiyahe dahil sa pandemic. Na? Ang health workers nakakalusot. So sakto on weekends, we'd go on bike rides, tapos dadali na rin namin yung brace para sa kanila. And this is one of my favorite pictures. When you go down Cannon Road and you look on the river on the left and right, because you're in a car, well, number one, you shouldn't look outside the car, you should look straight in front of you. But sometimes you'll notice, uy, parang ang ganda ng river dun sa area na yon, diba? And you don't get the perspective because it's about 50 meters off to the left or to the right. So this one, I actually followed the river with the drone, and you see an area where you have the narrows, diba? In the area, it's almost like siguro like Zion, no? Zion National Park in the States, or some other area like Coron in Palawan, diba? Where you have the limestone cliffs. But this is right in Cannon Road, so in the Bued River. So you can see it there, and you can't really see this picture in a car or even by the side of the road. So the drone has to go out and you have to follow the river and then you see it. And this is a new perspective. No? A lot of you remember the Lion's Head in when you come up Cannon Road in Baguio. And this is a different perspective of the Lion's Head. You can see it on the upper right side of the picture. It's now painted gold. Bagong pintura yung Lion's Head natin ngayon. And you can see the twists and turns of Cannon Road as you go up. Now, it's a different perspective of the view. And this one is one of my favorite shots and one of the first shots I took on the drone. So again, going to Nueva Vizcaya, this is the Cayapa River Basin. And you can see forest, the river, the road, and the rice fields all in one picture. So it makes for a nice abstract of the scenery of what you are. And you don't normally see this if you're just taking a picture at the level of the road. One of the other things in a drone is that you actually get introduced to videography, which I never used to do. And here, I was using the drone to actually chase a flock of egrets in a golf course in Baguio. And you can see the egrets respond to the noise of the drone, and you can actually chase them and see the flock in flight. So it's a good picture. And this is another one. So again, the other week, nagkaroon kami ng mini reunion of some of our classmates. And with a drone, you can take shots like this, where you can do a spiral or a circle around the group. Sumakit yung kamay ni Jean sa kakataas ng kamay dito at kaka-wave sa camera. Galit na galit siya pagkatapos. But pinaparusahan daw namin siya. But it's a good technique and gives you a good picture. The last thing I'm going to talk about are collaborations. And this is one of the favorite things I have done with the photographs, is that when you have pictures and you post them and people react to them enough in a way that they want to make their own versions or they're inspired to do things. So this was a collaboration done about 4 years ago with Zeka Tatad of 96. So I just posted this on Facebook. This is a view of Yellow Trail in John Hay during a morning hike. And she asked if she could sketch it on pen and paper. So ang ganda ng sketch niya doon sa extreme right, and we made a triptych out of it. And recently I've been doing collaborations with my mother. My mother paints very well and amazing. No? So what I do is when I'm out on a ride and I take a picture, I send it to her, and she will make a painting of it. No? So we're actually working on a collaboration. Hopefully, we can exhibit her paintings with this. So this is sunrise over Itogon from Outlook Drive. It's the same spot I showed a while ago, yung favorite spot namin. This is a sunset naman at Marcos Highway. So coming down at Marcos Highway, you see nice, really red sunsets of the West Philippine Sea. And she was able to capture that in her painting. And this is again in the Ambuclao River. So this was taken about 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon on a misty day going back to Baguio. That's the road on the right going up to Baguio. And you can see the sunset being reflected on the river and on the rocks beside the river on the side. No? And amazing, ang ganda ng pagkakuha niya sa painting niya, no? Na-reflect yung tubig, na-reflect yung ilaw sa stones. No? So this painting, we call this going home. No? And this one, no? Sometimes you can get pictures like this, sunset in the West Philippine Sea, and you can see a bangka, and she can turn it into this. No? With the photographs, so, with the painting. So ang ganda ng pagka-paint niya ng picture, and it's a good collaboration. No? So yun lang. Thank you very much. I'd like to acknowledge the provocateurs of the Silent Gallery, Third, Pinky, Anne, Jay, everyone else who's shared and looked at the pictures, enablers namin, sila Faye at Alan, and the collaborators I've had. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, guys. And thank you for the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing, Jay. Beautiful. Third, amazing.
Thank you.
All the photos are amazing.
Ang daming comments. If you look, JP and Third, ang daming comments on the chat box. Parang, of course, praising all your pictures, di ba? Parang ang daming compliments. Actually, I was just telling Third, ay, naka-ano pala ako. Ayan. I was just telling Third na parang there are so many times na when you look at the pictures, diba, you want to say something, you're so tempted to say something, to comment kasi they're so nice, and parang no matter what you do, parang hindi mo makuha yung mga nakukuha nyo na pictures, diba? So but because of fear kay Pinky, we don't say anything, diba? You don't break the rules eh. Kasi if you notice, sila lang yung admin, so they can easily remove you. But they can just remove you.
Pinky's the nicest girl.
I don't even know how to do that.
She's
Si
super
Ann
nice.
kaya, si Ann. No. Anyway, so
gumawa ng group kasi hindi ko naman alam kung paano.
yun, so ito, there's some questions about how do you brought the sabi ni Nerd, you brought down your drone on the bike?
Yeah, I use the smallest DJI drone, the DJI Mini. So kasya sa backpack. So ginagamit ko siya pag nagbabike kami on weekends, and it gives me an opportunity to rest. Pag pagod na ako paakyat ng bundok, titigil muna ako, and then ang excuse ko, magbi-video muna ako Pero actually nagka-capture ka ng breath mo.
Yung mga short ride mo kasi siguro magkakaintindihan lang kayo ni na Faye eh. Okay, yung mga short ride. Kasi sa akin, yung short ride is like, siguro 2
around
blocks
the
away.
block, bibili ng suka.
Ganon.
Short ride. Pabili nga po ng suka.
Bibili ka sa La Union.
Any questions for our 2 speakers?
May question ako for admin. When's the next SAG for the next presenters? Exciting.
I'll let Third and Pinky answer that.
Me?
Pinky presenter yan next time. No, actually, alam mo, Pinky, maganda to kasi everything is voluntary, of course. Pero I think it's good. I think kita ko yung pictures ni JP. It's relaxing, di ba? Parang you can have breakfast, watch. Sabi nga ni Faye, it's a good way to spend Sunday morning. Ako, nag-enjoy ako. Nasa opisina ako ngayon. Wala ako sa bahay. Anyway, voluntary. But si Pinky yung number 3 sa nag-volunteer. Kaya siya yung number 3. Tapos,
Oo.
bino-volunteer ko rin si Didel for that pen
Right.
art that I saw. I cannot forget. So, Didel,
You're
we
so
want to
sweet.
see that.
That's not going to take a whole session. It's super easy. You
Didel-
just have to have a
Didel,
picture and then you just.
I'll have 5 minutes and you do the other 55 minutes.
It's not gonna take 5 minutes. I just say
You
very
know-
simple. I just make little dots to fill spaces.
Oh, wait.
There's
Hindi
Same
ba
thing
yung
for
ano,
the next-
Dids?
same
Hindi ba you
word.
use different ano? Di ba yung the tech pen that you use with
Yes,
different
I do.
diameters,
I
di
use
ba?
rotary tech pens. Yes.
Oh, yan.
Yeah.
So, save it for the next
2 minutes
presentation.
kaya ko.
Pinky, there's a question for you from Nerd. Nasaan na
Oh,
yun?
nerd.
Oh,
Ano tanong?
where is it? Anong gamit mo na camera daw, Pinky? Phone camera lang daw ba?
Yeah, iPhone 10.
iPhone 10. Actually,
Pareha typings.
ano Nerd? Ano
Max.
Nerd?
Ganda ng pictures.
Yeah,
Ganda ng
the
pictures.
same.
You know, I noticed yung ano, I just realized recently kasi ako, I just take pictures of random things, of family ganyan. Pero looking at the gallery, I realized na yung palang phone, you can, tama yung sinasabi ni Third meron pa yan one magic button na I noticed, yung
Oo.
saturation. Yung saturation, when you sweep it from left to right, ang galing ng mga effect niya. And you know, you can come up with very third-looking pictures. Of course, not as good as Thirds, di ba? Pero yung parang mukhang maganda talaga siya with the iPhone. It has developed, I think it has developed yung technologically. Ang ano na niya, ang galing niya to make
Yes.
people like me na tanga sa camera. Si
Naman
Third,
tanga.
dahil si Third, dati pa yan, mahilig talaga siya. Ever since, that's been his passion.
Mga late
Galing.
bloomer tayo, JP.
O tayo late bloomer,
Late bloomer
kaya
tayo.
Pero nakita mo yung pictures ni JP. Those are, di ba? Camera.
iPhone.
iPhone lang yun.
Oh.
Oo.
Beautiful.
Yung compositions are very good. Tapos,
Yeah,
for
that's
other
very good.
presentations aside from pictures, art, sana meron din tayong poetry reading.
Si
Si
Mia meron.
Mia.
That's Mia.
And Jean,
iba-
si
And Jay
Jean.
Mobo.
Oh,
Jay.
Yung
Jay.
pictures with the captions, I want to
Jay
hear
writes
that.
so
And of
well.
course, si Jay. Oh, nagtago si Jay.
Nagtago si Jay.
Natago
Jay, inoff mo kagad. Nakita kita.
Nakita ka na
ano lang
namin.
naman, it doesn't have to be long, Jay. It can be 10 minutes. A 10-minute, what inspires you. Yan usually yun, di ba? What inspires you?
Or pick a
Diba?
topic. Kagaya ko, infrared. I just picked a topic. You can pick a topic. Tapos, kung gusto natin ng 1 hour long session, si Dennett na yon.
Sports
Yay,
photography.
Dennett!
Sports photography.
But you know, si Dennett, grabe yung mga pictures ni Dennett. Parang
Galing.
iPhone lang ba yun? iPhone lang yun, pare.
Mix. Teka, Third, JP, ang galing ng presentation. Thank you. Napaka
Oh, galing.
sophisticated yung yung mga technique. Napaka-technical. Great pictures. Congratulations. May tanong ako about drone photography. Kasi I know both of you do drone photography, di ba? Ikaw nga, Third, minsan you allow your drone to follow you. Di ba?
O sa bike.
Oo, kasi mukhang maganda something new. I am also thinking of doing something like that. Pero di ba may mga regulations yan sa about drones na may certain limitations kung how high you can fly the drones, tsaka kung what areas. May difference ba sa Pilipinas and also sa sa US?
Pilipinas, mayaman lang pwedeng gumagamit ng drone. Mahal kasi.
Kaya mo yan.
Yung starter drone, the Mini 2, is about 23,000 pesos. So it's not that much more expensive. It's cheaper than an iPhone. Pero wala siyang follow me function. Yung mga more advanced models are the ones with the follow me function. Umaabot yan ng mga $5,000 yung bagong Mavic 3, no? Meron siyang ganon. Maganda siya, Dennett. Maganda siya pang triathlon kasi sinusunod. Ginagawa namin sa bike ngayon, pag may kasama kami, pauunahin ko sila tapos susundan ko sila ng drone. So you can get videos of them from the air, from the side of the mountain. Tapos imimix mo siya with points of view from the ground as well. So ang ganda ng edit lumalabas. Natuto din ako edit ng films because of that, no? Para beginner pa rin. Pero it's worth a try. There, in terms of regulations, I think they're stricter in the States. Pero dito meron pa rin no-fly zone. May automatic yan within, like sa Baguio Airport, I think there's a 3-kilometer radius that you cannot fly your drone. In Clark, Diosdado Macapagal, there's a 10-kilometer radius kasi malaki, international airport yon. So pag ganun, yung DJI kasi they follow the licensing. You won't even be able to lift your drone off the ground. Pero may mga ibang drones na hindi sumusunod sa GPS locking, yun, na ilulusot nila.
Yeah, minsan nag-camping kami ng anak ko. Siya yung nagpapalipad ng drone. May dumating na rescue helicopter. Nag-land bigla yung drone niya on its own. Kahit hindi niya nakita yung helicopter na padating, naririnig mo behind the mountains, hindi namin nakikita. Pero yung drone nag-land. May automatic nag-land siya on its own. Na-detect niya na merong flying, na may helicopter. Saka may app, ewan ko sa Philippines, pero may app kung saan ka pwede mag-fly ng drone mo.
Yung geofencing, di ba? Mina-mark niya yung mga geofencing areas.
Geofencing, yeah.
And then I think Bennett sa States, may rules yon na ang normal height na allowable is 120 meters in certain areas. Dito nalulusot natin parang doon sa Pinatubo, naakyat ko siya ng 500 meters high. So maganda yung perspective. Basta wala ka sa loob ng no-fly zone, pwede mo itaas yung drone.
Japes, mahirap ba i-control yung drone?
Hindi nerd. Galing nga ngayon yung software. Parang pag binitawan mo, nag-hover lang siya. Hindi siya magka-crash. So yung software of the drone, parang kung marunong ka mag-PS, mag-PlayStation, ganun yung hawakan niya. May left and right, tapos akyat baba.
Patay.
Ay.
So
And
kaya
then,
naman.
Bibili na yan si Nerd.
Si Jay. Jay, you have a question, Jay?
Yeah, so totally off topic. Pero is anyone using Pixel 6 Pro? I'm just curious if anyone has started using that. I'm just thinking of upgrading sana. Pinky, we talked about this.
I know, wala pa. Kasi hindi pa namamatay yung phone ko. And I didn't want to switch from Apple to another, to Google, kasi I don't know where to keep I'm very disorganized with my photos kasi they're just all in my phone. They're not even in my computer. So baka mawala. Yeah, I have to figure out a way. I'm not my pictures kasi I just take them and then I leave them and then I look at them again and I said, oh, maganda pala to, and then I put them in a folder. So hindi ako ganun ko-organized, but after listening to the talk today, na-inspire ako to do better.
Sito made a comment regarding the drone. In the UK daw, you need to register it to fly a drone. Yeah. Sito, thank you. I know it's almost 3 a.m. there now, but you can see the interest. Sito really wanted to stay on and
It's so
listen
interesting
to.
kasi. Kaya
Yes, super.
Any other questions? May comment
Dapat
dito si
siguro-
Leia pero totally off topic tungkol daw dun sa robot floor robot floor map.
Yung Roomba ni Nerd.
Roomba.
Gusto niya yung Roomba ni Nerd.
Dapat may session din tayo kay Ernest sa kanyang art, sa kanyang caricatures.
Agree.
Si Ernest madaling mag-volunteer yan. Oo na yan, di ba no Ernest?
Oo ka na. Oo na yan.
Sige, sure, why not?
Tinan mo. So we have
marami
Pinky,
nag-volunteer.
Diddle, Ernest,
Si
Jay,
nag-volunteer kanina.
kasi Mia. Yeah,
Si Dennis,
nag-volunteer na.
1 hour session daw.
Si Dennet, 1 hour session.
I'd be the guest lang of Pinky.
Any other
Ni
questions?
Diddle and Pink.
Guest lang.
Street
Hindi,
photographer lang.
comment lang ako sa drone niya.
Sige, Orville.
Over private property. Sa state yata, bawal, di ba? May mga binabaril na drone, alam ko eh. Pag nasa over your private property. Tama ba yun? Pero may alam akong ganun eh.
Nabaril yung sa'yo, Orville?
Si Orville, bawal talaga manilip eh.
Ibang pinanggagamitan.
Hanggang
Yung
bubong
drone,
lang daw.
yung
or-
drone ni Orville nakatapat sa
Private
banyo
property.
kasi ano sa banyo, nag-hover sa banyo. O may question,
it's not
Japes,
Yeah.
from Dondo. Is she a professional painter? I guess hindi alam ni Dondo yung pagka-artist ng mom mo.
Yeah, my mom is artist talaga. They make and manufacture Christmas decorations. Yan yung business nila ever since.
Galing.
And yeah, she loves to paint. So recently she's got into painting. Dati nga golfer yan, ang galing ng golfer, pero nung nag-umpisa siya mag-paint, they had a group exhibit and she was able to sell some.
Nawala.
We lost
Wala.
JP.
Nag-freeze.
James.
yun.
Nawala.
Ay, nag-freeze.
Nag-freeze siya. Actually, Dons, she really does a lot of yung Christmas decor ever since before nireregaluhan niya yung dad ko. Up to now, she gave me a few Christmas decors. Ang ganda talaga. So she's really an artist. She's really an artist. So nag-iba lang siya
Tammy
siguro
is the mother. Tammy is the mother.
Yeah,
Tommy is
Tammy's
the son.
Tammy's his mom. Ang brand ng kanilang mga Christmas decor is Tammy Lee.
Hindi, yung anak
Tamille.
niya,
Yup.
Yung
Tommy.
centerpiece
Tommy yung anak niya.
natin.
Toby pala, Toby.
Alin?
Yung
Yung anak
centerpiece
ni-
natin sa yung centerpiece natin sa
Homecoming.
Okada.
Correct.
This one, oh.
Yung
Rafi,
centerpiece.
hasid pa.
Lahat
Yung
si
yun,
centerpiece.
Ma'am
yes,
ni
sir.
JP yan. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ano?
Nagpo-posing pa si Rafi. Ayun.
Anyway,
Nice.
do we have any
Galing.
more questions? Kasi it's 11 o'clock. It's and naawaw kay Sito. Kasi Sito's talaga, of all of us, si Sito talaga ang that shows his interest. But it's nice no na we can come up with these things. In fact, tinatanong ako ng asawa ko, why does class 93 have so many things daw? sabi ko, no. It's a way for the class to get together, different interests. You have the smule, diba? You have the trivia, you have the photography, you have the rosary, and tama si Faye, because we want and we can. And I like it talaga whenever I have these things. Nakikita ng asawa ko, nahuli na ako yung sa smule. I used to hide, okay? Kasi I didn't want to have to explain, so I used to hide until nakihuli ako ng anak ko and sinasabi niya sa mommy niya, Papa singing by himself. and I told my wife na and sabi niya, it's amazing na daw na we can sustain it. So sabi ko, ganun lang naman yan. If the class really wants to get together, sabi ko, kaya iba naman talaga yung class namin, sabi ko. It's different. So ayan, JP, you're back.
Yeah.
We lost you for a while.
Narinig ko lang yung sinabi mo na it's amazing that we can sustain it. Yan ang trabaho mo as Euro, di ba?
Iba yon. Wag na natin ikwento yung mga consoles ni Orville sa akin. Wag na natin isama yun. No, but really it's nice na ganun. It keeps the class together, really.
Different venues for interaction.
Correct. Kaya nga natutuwa ako dun sa Smule, dun sa Smule, you'll see people having those collaborations na, I won't mention names, pero let's say one classmate with another classmate who barely spoke to each other in med school, and now they sing together, and it's just nice. It's just nice to
JV,
see.
you're talking
them
about
like that.
Ernest, no?
I'm not talking about Ernest. Who said I'm talking about Ernest? I'm not talking about Ernest. Did I mention Ernest's
He knows it's a
name?
joke. It's a joke.
No, but really, galing talaga, galing. So I hope we have more volunteers next time. It doesn't have to be, baka na-overwhelm kayo sa lecture ni Third na sobrang technical na para tayo nagbayad ng di ba, webinar to listen to. Pero, you just share your interest. Yun lang naman, and that's the interest of Third. And, and I'm sure some of you got interested in it also. Yun. So we look forward to Pinky and Diddle. Yep. Third.
Isa pa yung I like the travel aspect. Para tayo nagbakasyon, the pictures ni JP.
Correct.
Imagine ko pag ako yung nagbakasyon doon, magbabike ako,
Bionic.
ina-expect ko makita.
Bike tayo third. Bike tayo, puntahan natin.
Ayun
yun.
eh.
Bionic.
Okay, okay. Quiz na,
Okay.
quiz na.
Okay.
O yung quiz. Okay. Anyway, if there are no more questions, 2 weeks from now, I'll be posting it again. We're gonna have our Christmas party. I hope you guys can make it.